Step 40 is probably one of the easiest steps in the whole build. We're going to put the lid on the back here. Pretty self-explanatory. It sits on there and there's 5 beveled screws that go in there. There's no gasket or anything on here. It does kind of pop together, and then you will put your 5 screws in. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to do that off camera, and we'll be back for step 41. Okay, the next step here is kind of fun. First thing you're going to do is lay your sway bar down into the 2 little grooves on the back of the posts here. You can see right here where it just drops right down in. Okay. Grab this little piece here, which is your AX31005-3, and there are actually 2 of them. And there is a teeny tiny little set screw. Let's get that out and insert that. Oops, sorry about getting off camera there. Insert that into the hole in the front of this little B unit, and just get it started with its threads. You can kind of look through the bottom and just thread it in until you see it come to the bottom of the hole there. You can see it in there. Good old color balance on the camera. I'm going to reset it. Okay, so now that we have this little set screw in here, it's going to be tricky. These fit on the outside going in like this, and this little portion here goes into the groove, and it is a little bit tough to get in there. So what we're going to do is these little pegs here fit into the little holes that you can see right on the side here. Okay, so we have to drop that in there, and we have to squeeze this in between the plastic parts, which takes a little bit of finesse. And fat fingers are not good for finesse. We want that set screw to be pointing up. So I'm going to try to get this into the peg on the bottom, and then force it in and bend it around until it until it pops out. There we go. We're going to try again for a 3rd time. 3rd time's a charm, right? And it is actually not this difficult, except for I'm trying to do it for the camera. Come on. Okay, I'm going to go off camera and do this. I got to stick my face up closer so I can see right. It's amazing how easy things can be when you're not doing them for the camera. The next thing that we need to do is put our 2 screws in here to hold them in place. Guess it helps to use the right nut driver, or actually hex wrench. Get that one in. The next thing that we're going to do once we get these screws in is to adjust the sway bar. And in itself is not that difficult, but it does take a little bit of technique. The mount is designed for different size sway bars, and you don't want the sway bar floating around inside the mount. So that's what the 2 little set screws are for, and I'll show you what I mean. You can see that there's play in there, so it can accept a larger or a smaller sway bar. Okay, so what we want to do is adjust these set screws to take up that play, but we don't want them to bind. So what we're going to do is make sure that these are free with no binding. And we're going to tighten the set screws. Let's see if we can set this down. And we're going to do one at a time, We're going to tighten the set screw down until it binds, till it touches and it doesn't let it freely fall back down again. Okay, you see how it stays up by itself now? I'm going to loosen that set screw up about 1/4 of a turn until it freely falls down again. There we go. And that's taken up all of the slack inside of the unit there. So we're going to do the same to this side. Okay. There we go. So the sway bar should move freely. Oops, still got one a little bit too tight there. There we go. Okay. Now everything moves freely. And that's how you adjust the sway bar inside the holder. Okay, off to the next step. Okay, our rig is about to get larger. We need a couple pieces here. We need 8 of the beveled head screws. And we need these 2 units right here, which are both the same in AX31008. And I just kind of found them floating around in my plastic bag. They weren't attached to a tree. As we look at these, you can see that this side is beveled and this side is flat. When we put these on, the beveled side is going to go down and the flat side is going to go towards the chassis. So just remember that. Okay, grab the rear pod unit, and there are 4 little pegs there, and those are going to go into these 4 holes in the main chassis tub. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to want to hold the sway bar arms towards the back as you put this in. Let's line up the 4 holes. And slide everything down in, just like so. At this point, let's take 4 of our beveled screws and put them in to secure where the posts are. And those are going to be these 4 holes here. We'll get this little puppy secured. Looks like everything lines up real well at this point. And that takes care of those 4. Now, just double check and make sure, oh God, that's heavy. Make sure everything is good. Okay, now we're going to, you see these 2 holes here on the bottom of these feet. Our screws are going to go in there, and we are going to put on these rear braces right here underneath. And we need to remember that the beveled portion goes down, and they're only going to fit on there one way. They fit right in here, like so. And see if we can hold everything in camera position and also get screws in, which can be difficult. There we go. Okay. one. Go ahead and put the second one in here. And that is the name of that tune. Just want to hand tighten those down. There we go. Okay, and we're going to go ahead and do the same for the other side, but that's what it should look like right there. And again, they're going through these holes here, through the bottom, and into these. Alright, on to the next step, which is step number 43. Go ahead and get your battery tray lid, as well as the two hinge pins for the hinges. These are just the little plastic strips that are on one of the trees. Make sure you trim them off properly on the ends so that they will slide in. Pretty straightforward. What we're going to do is to place the battery lid in just like so until it lines up. Make sure the holes line up on the top side so that everything is nice and straight, just like so. Let's take the little plastic rods, slide them in through the side. May have to press up and down on here to get them in properly so that everything lines up. And then we will secure them with a screw in the same hole that you put the thread, or put the little rod. Just like so. Pretty easy step. Once we're done doing this, we're going to put the little body clips on. Make sure it functions properly. And we'll get the little body clips. And those will secure. Neither one of my trays really laid flat in there. You had to push them in with your thumb a little bit, which is fine. They'll mold into the right shape. Then go ahead and put the body clips through. And that is that. Go ahead and repeat the process on the other side, and we're ready to rock and roll.